So this is our class opener for today, Monday the 17th. We're going to be reviewing writing algebraic expressions. So let's just jump right into it. Number one, 53 plus 4 times b. What do I write? Well, it starts with 53, so I write 53. And then it says plus, so you put plus. Plus what? Plus 4 times b. How do we show 4 times b? 4b together. Why? Because when there is no symbol between the 4 and the b, that means you're multiplying. Now, if I were simplifying an algebraic expression by combining like terms, just doing distributive property, on my final answer, I would write the number 53 at the end. But right here, it's not about simplifying. Right here, it's about reading something and writing exactly what it is. So we're not going to switch any order, especially because the only time we switch order is when we have like greater than or subtracted from. That's when we switch the order. So right here, we just write down 53 plus 4b. Nice and easy. Number two, the sum of 4. So let's take a piece at a time. What does sum mean? Add. Okay, addition. Now, what are we going to be adding? It says 4 times h and twice g. So those are the two things that we're adding. 4 times h and twice g. So how do I write 4 times h? 4h. And how do I write twice g? 2 times g, which is 2g. So there's your problem on number 2. The sum, that's the addition of what? Of two things, of 4 times h and twice g. There's 4 times h, there's twice g. And you're adding them together. I hope everybody's crystal clear with 1 and 2. Number 3 gets a little more challenging. Now, number 3, when it says any type of fraction, you write the fraction down and usually you multiply it, right? So we have 1/3. Let's write down 1/3. That's really 1 over 3. Now it says 1/3 the sum. What does sum mean? Add. So 1/3 the sum of r and 7. So we're going to take 1/3 and we need to multiply it by the sum of r and 7. So what do you guys think I should write? 1/3 times r plus 7. Okay, now if I wrote this, this is the number one mistake that students make. We need parentheses because what does this say right here? It says 1/3 times r and then you add 7 to it, right? But that's not what this says up here. It says 1/3 of what? Of the sum of r and 7. So we need to do 1/3 of this whole answer. So in other words, we need to multiply first we need to add first before multiplying, and the way to do that is to put it in parentheses. So 1/3 parentheses, and inside the parentheses, the sum of r and 7. Does that make sense? The last one, 2 plus, nice and simple. 2 plus, now what are we talking about? 2 plus what? It says the sum, I admit, this one's slightly confusing. The sum, that means add, of the squares of w and y. W squared and y squared. Now, if I leave it like that, it would be wrong. What do I need? Parentheses. Where do I need the parentheses? Around the squares of w and y. Or around the sum of the squares of w and y. Okay, so once again, 2 plus, there's a 2 plus. But it says the sum, so that means I need to add this first before adding the 2. So the sum of the squares of w and y. That one's a little confusing, I admit. But that's a review of writing algebraic expressions when they give you the phrase, the sentence. And we're going to use this skill on today's section 2.1. Today we're starting chapter 2. We've already done chapter 0, we've done chapter 1, we're moving on to chapter 2. The first section is 2.1, and it's titled Writing Equations. Okay, so we have written expressions. That's what we just did on the class opener. We we had a sentence and we wrote the expression. Now we're going to be writing equations. So what's the difference between an expression and an equation? Is that an equation has a what? Equal sign. That's right. So an equation has an equal sign. So are you guys ready to copy down all these notes for this section? There's the title. And I know, don't complain, this is a lot to copy down. Here it is. Yeah. Copy that down. And then you're done with the notes. Yeah, pretty much. The word is means equal. Yeah, I know. This probably is the world record of notes, of the shortest notes ever. The word is means equal. So we're not solving equations, all right? We're not going to try to, what is X, what is Y? We're not trying to solve anything. We just want to read a sentence and be able to write the equation that represents that sentence. So on the class opener, we were reading expressions. Right now we're going to read the whole sentence, and there is going to have the word, it's going to have the word is in there, which means that you have to put the word equal in there. Let me show you. So this is the actual assignment today. This is 2.1 WSP. So question 1 on the homework, it says 53 plus 4 times B is as much as 21. If you think that that sounds familiar, it is, because if you look at here's the class opener again, and we already did number 1. It said 53 plus 4 times B. That's exactly what it says right here, 53 plus 4 times B. The only difference is that we're going to add to it. Okay, so 53 plus 4 times B is as much as, so is as much as is what? The equal sign. Piece of cake, and then 21. Done. Doing it? That's the homework. You guys are jotting it down in your notebook right now, but yeah, this is a homework. So we don't need to solve it. Don't even solve it. I mean, I know some of us already know how to solve, but we're going to start solving simple equations tomorrow. Today it's all about writing, right? It's all about writing. We're not solving at all. Who cares about solving? Right now we just want to read something and be able to put it as an equation that has an equal sign. So the class opener is directly linked to our homework today. Let me actually pass that out so you guys don't have to copy it down twice. Okay, so you guys have this worksheet. Now, it didn't say WSP, but go ahead and write WSP up there. That just means worksheet practice. That's how I wrote it down on the homework log. So it's WSP 2.1. Again, this is exactly the same as what we did in chapter 1 when we would write an algebraic expression whenever they gave us a sentence. The only difference now is that we have the word is right there. And that makes it an equal sign, which creates an equation instead of just an expression. We're not solving. Let's move on to number 2. The sum of 5 times h. So the sum, that's plus 5 times h. So when I say the sum of 5 times h and twice g, those are the two things that I'm adding. So there's the 5 times h, and I'm adding it to twice g. So I'm going to put 2g. And then over here, the magic word is, and of course equal to, man, they really give it to you there, is equal to 23. We're done. We're not solving, we're just writing equations. Moving on to number 3. Might as well do the homework with you here all at once. 1/4, that's just the fraction 1 over 4. The sum, okay, so I want to take 1/4 of something, and I need to do the sum of r and 10. So I need to add r and 10. R and 10. Now, I cannot leave it like that because right there it doesn't say 1/4 the sum of r and 10. Right here it says 1/4 r and then increase by 10. So that's incorrect. We need parentheses. Thank you. So we need parentheses right here, just like on the class opener, right? And then it says is identical to, that's the word is, implies the equal sign. Is means equal. And what's it identical to? It's identical to r minus 4. So right here, that's just r minus 4. So there's our equation. We are not solving. We're just writing it down. And just like on the class opener, 3 plus the sum of the squares of w and x. Okay, the sum, we need to add the squares of w and x. So you're going to put w squared and x squared. And then it says is 32 equals 32. I hope I didn't go too fast there. But anyways, those are the first 4 questions. And there is no number 6. Actually, our homework assignment in this class is just to do 1 through 7. Okay? If you want, you could go ahead and try 9 and 10. That's where you have the equation and you write the sentence of the equation. The answers are all in the back of the worksheet. You know what? I might as well finish this off and do all these right here. Number 5, degrees Kelvin K. So what are we going to write? We're going to write K equals, they didn't even use the word is right there. They just straight out said equals 273 plus the degree Celsius C. It's too easy. It's like taking candy from a baby. Actually, that's pretty hard. The baby starts crying, and then, oh, okay. Number 7. The sum, so we're going to be adding something. What are we adding? S of the measures of the angle of a polygon is equal to 180 times the difference of the number of sides n and 2. Okay, that's heavy. That's heavy duty. Let's erase that plus sign. Let's think this through. So we need to really carefully read this. The sum S of the measures of the angles of a polygon is equal to. All of that wordage right there just means this. S equals. Okay? So what does it equal? It equals 180 times the difference. Okay, so we have 180 times the difference means subtraction, right? So let me put that down in red. Difference means subtraction of the number of sides n and 2. So n and 2. Now, if I leave it like that, it's incorrect because it's 180 times the difference. That means I need to subtract before multiplying. So what do I need? Parentheses right there. And that is our answer for number 7. And we're done with this homework assignment unless you want to try 9 and 10. But there's many different ways of writing those equations. Okay, so today, Monday, all we're doing is this worksheet. And I'm giving you the rest of the class to work on your test corrections so you could get extra credit. Okay? And be eligible to retake it if you need to. This will all be on Edmodo.